Hi guys, welcome you all to my project demo of leveraging generative AI in the learning of data structures and algorithms with the help of Socratic learning. To brief out, Socratic learning is a type of learning in which you will be asking questions to the user or the student to make the user arrive at the correct solution. So here I have taken the domain of data structures and algorithms. This project not only deals with learning efficiently algorithms of sorting, but also it will help you to uh, learn any kind of code you write for any kind of question. Okay, so let's dive into how this project helps us to learn our code with the help of Socratic AI learning. So I have written a code previously, which is a correct code for selection sort. Okay, so let's see whether it passes all the cases or not. So this has passed all the test cases right now. Now I'm making some mistakes to the code. Okay, so initially I will be making some sort of mistakes like N1. Okay, I'm making some kind of syntactic mistake to the code. See how I have made a syntactic mistake.
There might be some issues in your code. Do you want to review it?
I'm saying yes, of course, I want to review it.
Why did you use backquote n1 backquote to store the length of the array, but then use backquote n backquote in the loops?
You can to store the length of the array in n. I can say the same thing. Okay. I'm posting some kind of irrelevant answer to this. Let's see how it gives me the question.
Why did you use backquote n1 backquote to store the length of the array, but then use backquote n backquote in the loops? Why not use the same variable name throughout?
First, I gave some kind of irrelevant answers. Like, why did I give the same answer? But right now uh I'm coming to a conclusion like I need to change the variables. Sorry, I made a mistake in the naming of the variables.
Based on the conversation, suggest a list of bug fixes, described in English, to reflect the changes mentioned in the conversation. Example, replace backquote I backquote with backquote I plus 1 backquote on line 6.
I can say so right now I have concluded that I have made a mistake. Now it's asking for the bug fix. Okay, so I will write it like replace n1 with n on line 3.
Go ahead to solve the problem with relevant bug fixes. Did I meet your expectations today?
Yes, you met
I'd
my
love to hear your thoughts.
yes, you met my expectations. Okay. Now let's close it. Okay, so the chatbot. So since we have corrected it, so I'm going to correct this thing and checking out whether it is solving or not. Okay, our cases have passed. Let's make a logical error. Okay, instead of making it like greater than sign, I'm lesser than sign. I'm making less greater than sign. So if I make it as it will be sorted in an descending order instead of ascending order. So I have run it. Okay, make sure you run the test cases while asking to the chatbot, otherwise it won't be
There
able to
might be
respond to
some
you.
issues in your code. Do you want to review it?
Yes.
What is the purpose of the inner loop in the selection sort algorithm?
The inner loop is used to find out the index of the minimum element. And insert it at the correct position.
What is the purpose of the outer loop in the selection sort algorithm?
Uh, to store the index of the minimum element, which might have been changed in the inner element while iterating. So I have given a relevant answer to it according to the selection sort algorithm.
What is the purpose of the comparison backquote r, j, greater than r, min underscore idx, backquote on line 7 of the code?
Here I'm making my point that the greater than symbol which I have used is correct to the code. I'm proving it true, proving it to that true. Let's see whether it helps me identify it should be lesser than to find out the minimum element in the array.
Consider the following. The inner loop in the selection sort algorithm is responsible for iterating through the unsorted portion of the array to find the minimum element. It compares each element in the unsorted portion with the current minimum element and updates the minimum index if a.
So in this, what you need to know is, so if you give like irrelevant, I won't say, if you don't answer the question correctly. Here I have said it like commonly like to find out the minimum element in the array, but it should be like in the unsorted portion of the array, you're finding out the minimum element. Okay, so you should be very correct in answering the question. Otherwise, it will, this is kind of consider the following, it's like it's giving you the learning. Okay, so what's the purpose of the comparison operator? So I come to a conclusion, it's like uh I made a mistake because I, sorry, I made the mistake in the code. It should be, it should be lesser than instead of greater than on line 7 to find out the minimum element. So
Based on the conversation, suggest a list of bug fixes, described in English, to reflect the changes mentioned in the conversation. Example, replace backquote I backquote with backquote I plus 1 backquote on line 6.
I think it's on line 8. I made it mistake.
Go ahead to solve the problem with relevant bug fixes. Did I meet your expectations today? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
If you met my expectations on finding out the correct element, so the chatbot conversation will not be closed. That's what. So that's what we can in here. And this my project will not only solve with the related relation to the sorting of algorithms, but if you give any kind of problem to it, you will be able to solve it. And nowadays, while trying lead code daily, I am using this chatbot to learn the code with the help of Socratic learning. Thanks for watching.